Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here. Hopefully, your favorite official content creator for the First Descendant. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the updated Gley farming build. Now, this is going to be a shorter video because I'm not going to waste your time by showing you, oh, this is how the farming build works. You guys already know how it works. You guys have already seen it in the how to play Gley video. So this is literally just an update video to show you guys what I have done with it and why the mods that I use are in there, okay? So let's get started, but before we do that, don't forget to register me as your content creator if you haven't already, all right? Thank you very much if you decide to do that. Let's go. Okay, here is what you do on the farming build. Sorry, meant to remove my cam, remove the game instead. All right, there we go. Reactor. Plain and simple, you need a non-attribute dimension reactor. Why? Because her skill, Massive Sanguification, is a dimension type skill. You want to maximize the damage on this, then it is obviously important to have your materialized phase reactor on, okay? So non-attribute dimension right there. In terms of the rolls on it, if you can get a gold reactor, it would obviously be way more powerful, but a purple reactor is good enough. Non-attribute skill power boost ratio and dimension skill power boost ratio will be the ideal. I did not have one with both those rolls, so I just used one with skill duration up and non-attribute skill power. It's good enough for me, all right? The other option would be non-attribute skill power and skill attack versus Colossus. That is also another one that could potentially be very good. So do take note of that. All right. In terms of your external components, since this is designed for farming, you can just go with a regular set. There's nothing special. Module drop rate, max HP, max MP, consumable drop rate, gold drop rate, defense, and max HP, equipment drop rate, max shield. Standard. Like, you could put resistance on this, but it's really up to you. All right. There's no right and wrong answer. If you want a bit more power, you can go for the Slayer set. This will give you additional skill power and increase your skill cost. It's really up to you. With this one, she will have more damage, but a lot less hit points. So the choice is genuinely yours. Like with this normal set, I've got 24,000 hit points. So it's really up to you what you want. I just prefer to cast Sanguification more rather than worry about a minimal increase to damage because her skill power modifier is not high anyway. So even if I were to put Slayer set on, getting max shield, which is of no value to me, I'd rather have this. So this is what I do. You can do what you please, but this is what I do, okay? All right. Now, in terms of weapons, it really doesn't matter. But if you are not leveling a weapon while using this farming build, I would recommend using the Peacemaker. Why the Peacemaker? The Peacemaker has a unique ability that states, and this is when fully maximized, of course. So this is a bit of a luxury because you only get this after you kill Gluttony. But the Peacemaker gives you 5% increased non-attribute skill power, and every stack gives you 9.5% extra non-attribute skill power. With 5 stacks, this means that you go up to roughly 47.5% extra non-attribute skill power. All right, so, and that added to the 5% extra, it's 52.5%. My math should be correct. But yes, basically having this is a big boost to your non-attribute damage because it activates on fusion or dimension skill use. So this is pretty useful. It was originally designed for Valby, but it works really well with Gley. Okay. That being said, like I said, you kind of want to max it out because that gives you the best stacking for non-attribute skill power. And also it reduces the extra skill cost to 0%, which you kind of want because if you don't reduce your skill cost to 0%, you're going to have additional skill cost, which means in Gley's case, you are paying additional HP each time you use your skills. Not exactly a smart move, right? So just remember that the Peacemaker is what you are going to use if you have the luxury of having it. If you don't have it, it's still okay. All right. Like I said, if you're leveling a weapon, you can't exactly use the Peacemaker anyway because you have to hold the weapon in your hand. So take note of that. Okay. The rest of it doesn't really matter. In terms of your modules, sorry, switching over to the correct one. This is what your module setup is going to look like for Gley. All right. I'm going to go through all of them. Again, not a lot of difference from the previous farming build, but there's a bit more range in this one. There's HP collector as well. I will just go through it as if you haven't seen the previous one because I think that that's just easier for you guys. All right. So here we go. Okay. Your Sub attack is obviously going to be replaced by mid-air maneuvering. This allows you to grapple anywhere, anytime. Very useful. Your Transcendent mod is Massive Sanguification. Massive Sanguification allows you to cast your Sanguification skill, all right, at a cost of 15% of your hit points. And basically, with this particular build, you will have a 34.4 meter radius on your cast. If you are in Frenzy mode, you will deal 295.1% skill attack damage, all right? And per 10% of HP consumed, your skill power is plus 10%. So you will basically be able to use this to deal massive damage. And of course, in non-frenzied state, for every enemy hit, you will gain 5% of your max health. So you can use it to heal, and you can use it to deal damage, all right? This is basically your bread and butter for the farming build. Now, she's not going to farm anywhere near as fast as Freyna. She's not going to farm anywhere near as fast as Bunny. But the entire purpose of this is to ensure that you have an option to use when leveling her up, or if you just don't want to build those other characters, you can actually use Gley pretty nicely, but obviously she's far from the best, okay? This skill is all you really need to focus on, so Massive Sanctification is what is used. Now, in terms of your actual modules, you're going to first need Nimble Fingers and MP Conversion. Why? You will need to reduce your cooldowns as much as possible. This skill is on a 20-second cooldown. With this particular setup, I have brought it down to 6.4 seconds, which is really good, right? But there's more you need to do. Focus on non-attribute is used to not only boost the power of your skill, but also to reduce the skill cooldown. Then you've got multi-talented. Whenever you activate a dimension skill, all right, you gain another minus 20% skill cooldown, which in the case of this, shaves off another 4 seconds, bringing it down to 2.4 seconds, which is how you repeatedly cast the skill, all right? That is the crucial key. Without multi-talented and all these modules, you cannot cast your skills repeatedly, all right? Increase HP and Stim Accelerant are to give you the largest possible HP pool. It works really, really well. Since she doesn't use MP, the negative side of Stim Accelerant doesn't affect her, okay? Then you want to have Skill Expansion and Maximize Range. Both of these together expand her skill from 12 meters radius up to 34.4 meters, all right? People have asked me, do you really need maximized range? The answer is actually no, you don't. But you still want to increase your range as much as possible. So I would just put range here. What are your other options? Amplification Control gives you up to 51.7% range with additional max shield, which you don't need. Frugal Mindset only gives you 22.2. So it's really your choice what you want to have in there. I would shove in Amplification Control if you don't want maximized power. Gives you a little extra skill power, all right? It's because you're not suffering from the minus 20% here, but you do lose out some of your range. So instead of having 34.4 meters, you have 29.3, and there's, like I said, a useless additional 36.5% max shield, which doesn't help anyway. So the choice is yours. What I would use is I would genuinely just use maximize range, because 34 meters of range is really nice and you just don't have to think. It becomes this big circle. Oh, I see an enemy there. I just hit the button and it's going to take damage. So this is why I use what I use. All right. Last but not least, you've got Skill Simplification. This does not affect Gley because max MP does not affect her. All right. Losing max MP doesn't matter. And it gives you more skill power modifier than Dimension Focus or Dimension Specialist. Dimension Specialist is 76.1. Skill Simplification is 84.5. All right, not that big of a difference, but the additional 8% is useful in my personal opinion. It's up to you whether you like it or not, okay? And you certainly don't need Focus on Dimension because this is 68.2 and you don't need the additional cooldown, right? So Skill Simplification is what I use. Now, the last thing in this build is optional, okay? I will show you the options, but basically, some people prefer Preemptive Strike. Why? Preemptive Strike allows you to deal an additional 8.5% of the skill damage as additional damage on the target if the enemy has max hit points. This is basically helping her to burst down certain targets in one shot that she would normally take 2 casts to kill. This would replace your HP Collector, but I found that it's way better to have HP Collector because as I'm crushing their souls, I'm just healing up constantly. All right, recovering 10% of my hit points each time is really, really useful. So that's why I have this here. You can do whatever you like. But this is what I choose, and this is what has worked well for me. All right, and that is basically it. That is basically how you build Gley's farming build. Well, the updated version. I'm gonna put my cam back. The main idea of this is just to make sure your Sanguification is dealing as much damage as possible, and that you are hurting your enemies as much as possible. Unfortunately, Sanguification's skill power modifier is a max of just 300%. I mean, it's 295, but 300%, right? Roughly. Okay, and there's not much you can do about it. So your skills aren't going to hit that hard. I'll be open with you about that, but they will still hit pretty hard, and you can cast them repeatedly, quickly with multi-talented. So abuse this. Like I said, it's up to you. The great thing she's got going for her is her range, and that's basically what I use her for. So when I was leveling Gley, I was pretty much using this. Then I started leveling some weapons with her, and I was using this in block hyper mining. It's up to you whether you want to. Like I said, it's mostly for those that don't want to really build Bunny, or they've already built their Gley. They don't want to build Bunny and Freyna. You can use this as a little bit of a substitute, but it's not as good. All right. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoy the build. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys want to see more of my content, hit that bell button. All right. And now, let me thank all of our top supporters. Starting with the top supporters for October. Let me go pull them up. So September has ended, but now October's on. Okay, it's really easy to get on this list because it's the start of October. Basically, October's top supporters are Track Hoodie. Okay, sorry, that actually should be changed over to Yuri, because Yuri dropped a massive one today. So it's CU Yuri. There is Track Hoodie, Grand Roku, Fisher, Sir Tommy Gun, Foxy Kim, Tyler C. Thank you guys so much. Top channel membership gifter is Arcane Silver with 35 gifted subs, and BW. Thank you guys so much. All right. We also want to thank our top channel membership people. For the month of October, we have the following individuals: Arcane Silver, CG Mayhem, Haza, Death Dawning 982, Princess Star, Track Hoodie. All of these guys are Plus Ultra. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to BVS Fang, George Tishon, and Nisk at the Only Fan level. You guys are amazing. All right. If you guys want to get on the list, it's the early part of the month, so you can get on the list real easily right now. All right. Thank y'all very much. I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good day now. Bye-bye.